Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, I'm Annisa Oktaviani, Rismini Ismanto. Today I want to share you a review journal that written by Tanya Orade. The chapter is Developing Speaking Skills Using Three Communicative Activities, Discussions, problem solving, and role playing as my assignment in academic listening and speaking. Okay, the chapter of the journal that I review is developing speaking skill using three communicative activities, discussions, problem solving, and role playing. That written by Tanya Orade. The journal identity is International Journal of Social Science and Humanity, Fall 2, number 6, November 2012. By me, Annisa, Oktaviani, Rismini, Ismanto. Okay, for the next is the outer identity. The author identity is Tanyalap Orada. She was born in Udon Thani, Thailand on July the 4th, 1955. She graduated from Udon Thani Rajabat University, Udon Thani, Thailand 2010, with a Master of Arts degree in teaching English to speaker of other language or TESOL, complete in 2012. She has worked as a high school English teacher at Satri Ratchanutit School, Udon Thani, Thailand for 32 years. She has been a trained of ERIC English Resources Instruction Center at Udon Thani, Thailand. She continues to progress her passions for teaching various. Okay, for the next is rationale. The goals of English teaching learning are students able for communications as a tool for furthering their studies. There is four language skill in English. The first is a listening skill, speaking skill, reading skill, and writing skill. To in English teaching and learning have the goal of focusing students to that so that they are able to use English for communications as tool for furthering their studies. The first is in the process of teaching and learning. The four language skill listening, speaking, reading, and writing are stimulatious perform. Normally, learners in EFL context do not use the language in authentic situations. And the second is in foreign language, teaching and learning. Ability to speak is the most essential skill science in the basic of communications, and it's the most difficult skill. For the third is based on the third references state that speaking English is the most difficult for learners. In particular, EFL learners often stammer when speaking English. And the fourth is that mastery of the skill illustrates that the speaker praises knowledge of language. The five is according to many teaching theories, speaking skill can develop through communicative activities, which include an information gap, a jigsaw puzzle, games, problem solving, and role playing. And for the editions, material is supported this idea that the activities of that can assist better speaking skill are free discussions and role playing. And the sixth is the language activities are important factor in teaching language for communications. Activities help create interactions in the language of classroom. And the last is, according to report of seven, it was found that their foreign language learning turn was 50.83%, which was at the average level and the lowest among the other standards of the school. Okay, for the next material is research objective. This study has two objectives. Research. The first is to study and compare English speaking skill using three communicative activities: discussions, problem solving, and role playing of grade 11 students before and after learning. And the second is to study students' attitude towards teaching English speaking skill using the three communicative activities. Okay, for next is literature review from the study of teaching theories in developing speaking skill using communicative activities and many related research studies. It was a hypothesis that three communicative activities, discussions, problem solving, and role playing might help solve the problems. On the basis of the literature, as the researcher will study the impact of these three communicative activities, discussions, problem solving, and role playing, up students develop of speaking skill and students attitude toward English speaking using the three communicative activities. Okay, for the next is method or methodology. The first kind is scope of the study. In the scope of study, there are two kind. The first is sample, and the second is variable. For the sample is the sample for the study were use 49 grades of 11 students of Santri Rachinuit School, Udon Thani, Thailand, and the target group were 12 students divided into three English proficiency level. There are high, medium, and low using purposive selections. And for the variables is depend variable was teaching English speaking skill using three communicative activities. Independent variable were students English speaking abilities and attitude toward teaching English speaking using the three communicative activities. And for the next is uh, instrument. The instruments employed in this study were: the first is lesson plan, second is test of English speaking ability was used as a post test, pre-test and post test, an attitude questionnaire, students learning log, semi-structured interview, and teacher journal. And the next is data collection. Data collection is data was collected and study done in the authentic classroom. A test of English speaking ability test was employed as the pre-test. A lesson plan with the three different communicative activities were used in language classroom with 49 students. In the meantime, the students are asked to write their learning log, and the researcher wrote the teacher journal. After that, completion of the teaching, and the students were interviewed using a semi-structured form, and finally the attitude questionnaire was employed. And for the site is in Satri Rachinit School, Udon Thani, Thailand. And for the participant, there are 49 students or 49 participants for this research. So for the next is data analysis. In data analysis or analysis technique, uh, this research using mixed method in qualitative and quantitative data. For the quantitative data, use speaking test, student and student attitude, and the qualitative data using learning log, semi-structure review, and teacher journal. The quantitative analysis were from tests of English speaking ability and edit questionnaire. The qualitative analysis was drawn from the student learning log, a semi-structured interview, and the teacher journal using the three triangulations method. Okay, for the next material is finding and discussions. In finding and discussions, the pretest mean score was 60.80%, and the post-test mean score was 85.63%. The students' English speaking abilities after using the three communicative activities were significant higher than the prior to their use. The student attitude toward teaching English speaking using the three communicative activities was rated as good. And the study produced several important results. These are discussions on the post-test mean score of the students' English speaking abilities was significantly higher than the pre-test. One after the employing of three communicative activities, discussions, problem solving, and role playing. Characteristics of the activities might have encouraged interactions among the students in the language classroom. This could offer opportunity for language practice, and the teacher arrange for language functions such as asking for directions, ordering food and beverage, taking on the telephone, and making an appointment with the doctor. These types of activities can effort students experience using the language for the real communications. And this idea was consist with where they proposed that the learner should know the purpose of speaking, what to speak, with whom, and where to speak, how to use appropriate language. In the study, the contents of the language through the three activities were carefully selected on the suite, the syllabus, the learner's age and language level, and the create challenge for the learners to gain experience. And teaching English speaking skill using the three communicative activities is learning method focusing on the learner centered. Students work in small groups defined by their language proficiency, high, medium, and low levels. Using the technique, student can have an opportunity to work together, providing to help other while performing the activity. So the atmosphere in the working in groups can lessen their fear in making mistake when speaking English. Student in the group can support other in the team needing help. They can express themselves successfully while working in groups. This can lead to self-monitoring, more confidence in speaking, and enjoyment can encourage them to participate more in learning. And the students' attitude toward English skill speaking using the three communicative activities was rated as good. And this might result from the having been provide adequate language functions in situations that occur in real communications, leading to their confidence in speaking the language. They felt satisfied with their speaking English when using three communicative activities. The purpose of teaching and learning helped create enjoyment in speaking English in small groups. So the feeling of success in learning to speak English through the three activities establish their motivations to learn the language. Okay, for the next is uh, the conclusions. The conclusion for this study is teaching English speaking skill using the three communicative activities is a learning method focusing on the learner centeredness. Using this technique, students can have opportunity to work together, providing help to other with performing the activities. Okay, maybe this my presentations. Thanks. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.